Uh,
Okay, and we're recording finally. Hello, this
Damn, I
is...
was gonna get some more garlic bread.
Your what?
Never mind her.
Okay. Um, Probably, depending on how much time we sink into this terrible idea, part one of a potentially ongoing, series where we detail the history in our terrific Minecraft server for no other reason other than I felt like it. Hi, Joe, you own the server. Yeah,
Unfortunately.
unfortunately, that's probably the best possible way you can put it. Anyway, um, you started the server. How was it during the earlier days? Because
This
that
is the
before
fucking
I
interview.
showed up and ruined everything. How was it?
Right. Well, it was just my single player world, really. Yeah, single player world. I spawn in an acacia biome. I don't like acacia, so I moved west. Well, I moved somewhere. Ended up in a desert village. Did the usual looting of the village, building a shit house there, made a farm. Was pretty shit. Made nether portal. You know, the
I'm about to go
usual
back and
stuff.
get screenshots of that. Because oh wait, no, we leveled the entire thing. We destroyed it, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, that bit comes later. I built like my whole like spawn base thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Got a farm. Went round collecting all the different woods. Went exploring. Went to swamps, dark oak forests, birch forests. And I decided, you know what? I'm living in literally the shittest biome. So I went out and searched for some spruce because I like spruce. So I ventured out and I made my way to a beach. And I just decided, you know what, I'll put my house here. And for some stupid reason, I built it out of nether brick, a fucking ugly piece of shit. And then I decided that I wanted to make a village, so like a coastal town would be quite a cool idea.
You made an attempt on that. I remember seeing it
I
in
did.
the
I made an
yeah.
attempt. I made an attempt. I built houses, but I never got my hands on any villagers or zombie villagers to actually like cure them. So then I built a well, what was supposed to be a lighthouse, but then it ended up looking like a bloody lightsaber hilt.
Sure.
And they just head out into the ocean to start a new life on the other end of the ocean. And well, what I thought was the other end of the ocean, but I'm pretty sure it's still part of the same coastline. But anyway, I found new land and went into the new land and found a spruce forest with a hill like on top, like overlooking a spruce forest and a plain. So I
I remember
decided to
what is it?
make
Getting the
that hill
seed.
my home.
Yeah, remember when we got the fresh seed and tried to do, what was it, a manhunt server for a few days, and we got to see the differences between, the current server and what it looked like originally?
We should do that to get some like screenshots
I still have
of
these
the
seeds
before
saved,
and
so I'm
afters.
definitely going to do that again.
Okay. So I built my house on top of the hill. It's the same building now, but it was then, but it is, like completely different. And then I decided that it should be, like, it would be a good idea to restart the whole village idea thing because I'd managed to trap some zombie villagers. So I trapped them and I built like three houses
Oh, I remember
along the
those.
yeah along like the well I'm gonna call it the left hand side of the house.
This is a from humble beginnings kind of thing.
Yep.
Oh, you had
And
so
wow.
little idea how downhill this was going to go.
Yep. So three houses, and that was the start of well, what is Daddy three houses. Then I invited two of my dipshit friends to come onto my server, and I
Let's
decided,
just refer
yeah,
to the guy who dressed in the French uniform as Gamwise Samji, or yeah, that'll do. Gamwise Samji from Thame of Gones.
yeah, and yourself.
Yep,
You were useful.
I
I'm
was.
gonna
I
go on
could
to that bit,
duplicate, and that
and
was
I was on
considered so
Xbox
valuable. You felt the need to shoot us to death with a bow and arrow and imprison me in the basement.
for a month.
Oh god,
And if I remember rightly, I made you live off a live off a diet
dried
of
kelp.
exclusively dried kelp.
Like I got
For
an achievement for that. I don't remember what it was. I think it was stranded or something, which is an
oh yeah,
achievement
you
you're supposed to
did.
get if you play on ocean worlds. I
Yep,
got that achievement from living in this man's basement.
yep. And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to extend my house a little bit and make a railway going to the ocean. So I made a little train station
You've
and
skipped a lot
digging.
for the record.
Have I?
You
What have I
have. You've
skipped?
skipped the entirety of World War One. I'm go-
No, no, this is related.
Oh,
Okay,
okay, carry on then.
okay. So actually, no, you could talk about it.
Alright, fine. So during this whole basement duplication month of torment I was enduring, I decided. Well, no, actually, hold on. I explained this to someone else, and I'm just gonna use what I said to them because you wanted to get materials, you know, diamonds and stuff. Except you wanted it to look legit, whatever that means. You wanted to impress people, but you wanted to look like you actually went through the effort of doing it, which is the funniest thing I think I've ever heard. But okay. So, you know, I duplicated them, except I duplicated more than what you wanted, and then just hid it in a chest, which I'm going to find, and I'm going to screenshot. Whether or not it's on screen or not is entirely up to whether I decided to do it or not. And I put the stuff in there, and then I also just carried tons of it around on me. So I had loads of diamonds, iron, other minerals of just varying degree, and I gave you everything that you needed. Yeah, so I had my own stash, and you had yours. And that was that, I suppose. Eventually, it got to a point where I didn't want to be in the basement anymore. I just got up and left, and then I ran down the hill, and I ran quite far, and I built myself a house as a distraction. The remains of which are on screen right now. It is beautiful. It was the whole thing was that house specifically was a joke. I actually had another base which I had made before running all the way to build that house, which was just an X made out of wood on the floor with a chest in it, which I had put a load of resources in. Joe also screenshotted that. Cheers, buddy. Very cool. And yeah, from there I had an anvil and a bed, both of which were lost to time. Rest in peace. And I used that to duplicate more diamonds and build more, you know, armor. And from there, World War One truly kicked off. Joe at this time had a large army of dogs, which were just. Sorry, was it around this time?
We're not going into the name. We're not calling them that. We can't call them the SS.
Okay, you make a good point. That's not okay. Whatever. Um, but yeah, you had the dogs around this time, and you had a lot of dogs, and you were very proud of them. I must be a terrible person because all I did was kill the dogs. Oh god, no! I'm gonna tell you. Right, I'm gonna just talk about one thing I remember particularly well. Is that me? I managed to make you run loops around your house trying to find me by hiding in your basement.
Yep.
And eventually you went and checked your map to see if you could find me, and your map said I was directly under the map room. You then went into the basement, I ran behind you, ran upstairs, you following me of course, and then I stole something from your bedroom and then proceeded to break out of the bedroom with an axe. I don't know if I broke out the wall or the window, but you weren't very happy about it, and I got away scot-free, so yay, I suppose.
Yep, and then you tried getting Mr. French Uniform Man to try and like kill me, which went
Oh yeah, no, Gamwise
extremely
Samji showed
poorly.
up again, so I dressed him in a French uniform, and then we both shot him dead.
For those who don't know, just look up the World War One French Army uniform, Mr. Blue Man.
It is just the blue man, and yeah,
Yep. So anyway, I was
it was
impressed
such a
by
futile effort, but it was funny as hell.
well, I was impressed by this, so I decided to let you guys have your own plots of land.
No, wait, you forgot the my first victory, the thing that truly led to the end of the World War One, if you will.
What, you blowing up my basement?
No, my my part of the basement. For context, the basement that Joe had put me in was actually my own extension of his basement. I had all of
he
my
calls
stuff
it
in there.
his.
All of my
He
tactical
calls it
shit
his,
was
but
in
it was
there.
in my house.
It was in your house, but whatever. So I had also duplicated a fuck ton of TNT, and my last intrusion, which led to me leaving his house via the window, also granted me access to the TNT I had been storing there for later use. I then ran into his house, just completely unannounced. His dogs attacked me, I killed his dogs, and then I stuffed TNT all over the inside of the basement. I don't know if I have the clip of this. I think I do. I'm gonna
I think you
scour
do
my
somewhere.
files to find if I do. And if it isn't playing, then I don't have it. But whatever. You. I can specifically remember you constantly saying, "I am so disappointed. Why would you do this? I am so disappointed." After I blew up the duplication machine, the remaining dogs that you had down there.
Oh, I just got an email for the Halo Infinite technical preview. Sorry.
Oh, you did?
Mm.
Slight detour.
Sorry.
Oh, have you as well? I also have it.
You can keep going.
Oh shit! This is the They're doing it again, but now you can invite people. That's kind of cool.
I'm not gonna be there.
Rip. Anyway, so I blew up the basement, and that was fun. It eventually, I think, your disappointment led to an alliance being formed and the end of World War One, which is just great. Let's be real.
Yep. But
And eventually, we
can
decided,
we
okay,
clarify that I wasn't mad about this?
yeah,
I was actually so impressed that I decided to give him his own like land to like build a village because at that point I wanted to build a village.
I mean, fair. And
Yep.
we did get to that. However, the key to being able to do that was I had to find slime balls first, and we did end up scouring the entire map, finding
Oh
a
my
swamp
God.
and finding slime balls.
We couldn't find any. There were genuinely no slimes
There
on
were
this
none.
server.
I think the only slime balls that we had were in the basement, and I blew them up.
Yeah, and we got them from wandering traders.
No, I got them from a single slime. I don't know if it dropped any, but we did get them from wandering traders immediately after that.
Yep.
But I'm pretty sure any wandering trader that sells slimes are the only ones that we didn't kill back then. Oh, that reminds me, yeah, we did some terrible stuff to our villagers.
Well, we
And,
don't have at this point we don't have the villagers.
At this
That's
point,
World War Two.
we had hardly any villagers. I think it was around World War II when the villagers actually started becoming an aspect, so...
Right. Well, getting the villagers. So I think I got 4 zombie villagers, and put them in a hole.
Oh yeah, no,
And
I
I
remember
cured
you were
2 of
trying to
them. I
disinfect
killed 2 of them. Yes, I killed 2 of them because I only had 2 golden apples.
Yeah.
But I was trying to get them in their houses so they wouldn't get killed by zombies. And I accidentally axed them both to death. And then I had to wait like another 3 weeks till I could get my hands on some more golden apples to try again.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm surprised
So
you
then
didn't
that
ask
worked.
me to just make golden apples, considering I had, I think, around a stack by that point.
You did?
I did!
Oh dear. Yeah, but yeah. So I managed to get my hands on 2 villagers, and then I built 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses along the
God.
top of the hill by my house.
Yeah, I remember those. I think I had the screenshots of that, or if that's the original 4 houses. I don't remember.
Yeah, and then I put like 4 beds in each house.
Oh
I
yeah.
gave
Okay, I think that's
loads
the,
of
I
bread
think
to
that's
the
the
villagers.
image with the church on it, and Sam's little shack behind the church.
The church didn't exist at this point. Remember?
It didn't, but the only reference screenshot we have is the one with the church in it. But carry on.
Yeah. Yeah. So then came the phrase that was very common for about
Oh
I don't know
no.
5 months.
Oh no.
They're fornicating in the streets.
Oh god, that's when the, let's just say, the age of expansion began, and that can mean a lot of things.
Yeah, the age of multiplication.
The age of multiple.
So yeah. Then I well, I didn't exile you. I offered you new lands in the mountains at the other end of the valley.
You did, and I took it. I crossed the no man's land and built what we now know as Londinium. No, sorry, Lundivium.
Because you wanted to name it after Londinium, the Roman
Roman name for London.
For London. But you said it wrong.
I said it wrong,
So
and I
now it's
spelled it wrong.
Londivium.
So now I guess it's just Lundivium, this horrific, just knock off London. It's terrible, and yeah, I'm stuck
It
with
is a
this now.
horrific. It is horrific in every aspect.
In every way.
And it was always horrific to the point
Yes.
where you were building those like really ugly igloo houses, and then you built
No, the
the
reason I
Lone
did that was
Star
because I wanted to
Motel.
match your population at the time. You had a lot of villagers, and
Yeah, because I had begun the first age of expansion where I'd built like 10 houses and a church and a community furnace.
yeah. And I was like, okay, I need villagers. I need to rival this. So I built a farm and then a fuck ton of igloos.
But they weren't
And
even like igloos. You made them out of what, like cobblestone, dirt, snow, iron blocks.
no, that was after you'd nuked me. I actually have an image edited by a friend, which is on screen now, of the bombing of Londivium.
Well, you're gonna have to give people context of the bombing of Lundivium first. It was causing horrific amounts of lag. Because I was on my shitty Xbox at the time, and the Xbox could not handle all of the villagers.
And my
people-
internet was taking a toll as a result of this. I had a good PC around the time, and even that was starting to struggle at the sheer
the PUBG
amount
Ultra.
of Squidward on the screen. It was actually painful.
So anyway, something had to be done, so I took it upon myself to personally,
Purge Londivium.
yes,
With
purge.
with my blessing, I gave you
With
permission
your
to
blessing,
do
you gave me
this.
permission to do that. And then you decided to colonize the crater and turn it into Unlundivium.
Oh god, yeah, no, okay, so after the carpet bombing had happened, you see those horrific cobblestone structures? Yeah, those are houses that I had made in the rubble, in the craters of the bombing. And in the most recent screenshot of Londivium, I think if I can try and get an image of that on screen, I probably already have, there's a... you can see just the top of this really dilapidated looking house just sticking halfway out of the ground. That is also visible in the bombing Londivium screenshot as... God, that is one of the longest lasting houses, let's just say. I'm not proud of it, but there was a guy on the Bedrock server. If I go there, there is still a guy in there, and he has been there for a good number of years at this point.
Oh, what, the nitwit in the wall?
No, not the nitwit. Oh, he's been there as well, but I mean the, what is it, the cleric.
He's been there for nearly 3 years.
The cleric has been there for longer, let's just say that.
Oh, in the... Yes, I remember.
I'm gonna get a screenshot of him, so that's obviously gonna appear, but... Oh my god,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. And while you were doing that, what was I doing? I think I was just expanding Valhalla.
You were. I
But-
think, what is it, you made a number of colonies around this time.
Oh yes, I decided to go back to my English roots and colonize places. So I wanted... What did I do? I did a... I made an island, which I tried to convert into a farm, which at the time was my biggest farm, and that changed.
Oh yeah, that changed,
Yeah.
but we'll get to that. You also,
Yeah.
around that time, we also had, let's just say, the insurrectionists show up.
That was... Are you talking about the insurrectionists or the invasion?
I'm talking about, you know, the people who I sold an island to and then later regretted it.
Oh yes, but before that I built a port because that port plays like an
A
important
vital
role.
role. That is,
And so
that
does,
is,
so does the farm island.
yes.
And oh yeah, and then I started to build giant swords to
Oh
mark
yeah,
places.
giant swords, giant axes, you name it. Joe probably built it because what? Apparently you said you wanted to look intimidating.
Well, yes, because the aforementioned insurrection was taking place.
Oh yeah, no, I need to explain this. So there was a fella.
Though,
on
were
the
you going to go
server
into the
called-
first Cold War first? The first Cold War first?
Was this the first? I think this was the first Cold War, actually.
Where you had built the arrow dispenser, the automatic arrow dispenser,
Oh yeah.
on the railway that I had built
The
connecting
reason I did that
Londinium.
was because you kept showing up on my doorstep and shooting me with arrows and then leaving immediately after.
Yeah. So anyway, you built like an automatic arrow dispenser.
It was.
And I'm
for,
like,
it was
Oh my god,
for,
this is the
it was
coolest
for
thing I've ever
defensive
seen.
purposes.
Yeah, I know. But then I was like, oh, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. So then I decided to adopt the idea.
Adopt, you mean completely steal, and later you called it your own creation.
Yeah, but then I created Fort Obi-Wan on the high ground, which is now the railway station.
Oh, God.
Because I couldn't fire it because Valhalla kept expanding it, kept expanding, so I couldn't
Eventually,
fire it without firing it in
Valhalla
the city.
expanded in front of Fort Kenobi, making it completely useless.
Yeah, so I had to change it to train station.
But one
anyway,
custom of Fort Obi-Wan was that every new person to join the server had to get
Had to-
introduced by a hail of arrows coming from Fort.
because none of them had ever seen it before, so they didn't know what to expect because redstone contraptions like this were fairly new at the time.
For us, at
So,
least,
For us and our friends.
because I was the entrepreneur of all cool shit on this server. I knew about this. To everyone else, this was new and this was hilarious.
So and there was like a choke point because I was expanding, but I didn't want to expand in front of the fort because I couldn't be asked to rebuild it, so I kind of built like around it. So at the point, the walls kind of made a choke point.
Oh, I remember
So
that.
you
I
had
remember
to
that
go
quite
into
clearly.
the choke point, and then whenever someone tried to get in without me knowing, I would just fire it, and I'm pretty sure I managed to kill 2 people that way.
You did. You killed Dragon Pig twice with it, as far as I'm aware.
God, him. Yeah, I forgot about him.
We need to explain this fellow. He was
Right.
the original bad guy.
Yeah, we got tired of fighting each other, so we decided this. Well, no, you decided to have someone else come on the server so you could label them as the antagonist.
Okay, now we need to I know what everything this guy did, so I'm gonna tell you. He joined, I took him over to Londivium after you peppered him with arrows, and then I gave him some stuff. I said, hey, you can make a house somewhere here, you can live, it's fine, we have cool shit. And he said no. He proceeded to go back to the capital, which is, Valhalla, and I think he commandeered Sam's sad little shack, dug down from there.
The audience doesn't know about the sad little shack.
Oh, no, it's in the screenshot on screen.
Quick detour.
What?
When I gifted Luke his
You
Londivium
just referred to me
Empire.
by my Xbox username.
Sorry, Luke Skywalker 69 or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh, fuck you.
Anyway, when I took Invade 60s, well, I don't even know what your name is.
Neither.
Anyway, I don't know anymore.
Well, I mean, at least it
Right.
not Well, I mean, at least it isn't
Invade,
Wolf
I'm gonna call you
Dragon
Invade.
12.
Oh, shut the fuck. When I took Invade, when I gave him his place, I asked Gamwise. I can't refer to people as their Xbox names. It's too
Just
cringe.
do it.
Ah.
This is a Discord
Anyway,
name, not
I
a...
asked him if he wanted to like have a colony of his own. So he decided to build one fairly near to my house, but at the expanding rate of my capital city, it was eventually just engulfed
completely
into the
swallowed.
city. It's now in the middle of the city.
Yeah, it is
next
right
to a
next to the
church.
church.
Next to St. God the Third's church.
Oh god, no, not the gods. We'll get to the gods at a later date. That is a whole can of
We've already-
worms I'm not willing to open right now.
Chronologically, we've already gone past the sheep gods.
Well,
Anyway,
oh, fuck, you're not wrong.
anyway, continue.
Wait. Okay, so he was in Sam's... Well, yeah, Samwise Gamgee's sad little shack. And he had plastered propaganda all over the wall. And what do I mean by propaganda? Well, he said that he said Joe is corrupt, Valhalla is a dangerous place, and that he needs to be voted president of Valhalla. Which, first of all,
At this point, I was committing genocides against nitwits. So
the nitwit
Might have had a
genocide.
point.
That was actually, I think that was the driving force of why I declared World War II. But we'll get to that soon, hopefully.
Mm.
Or maybe never, who knows. But, so he was putting, propaganda all over the walls, and he said that I needed to be imprisoned and then executed for my horrific crimes, and then reparations needed to be paid to people like him because of the poor treatment. We found this. We then followed him into Sam's shack and then beat him to death. So, in all honesty, we probably deserved everything that he was saying about us. But what got better was when he stole Joe's elytra And then Joe wasn't happy about this, so he disabled all of his privileges,
Oh
and
no!
and the fella was still able to outrun us, which is incredible.
We'll go into what happened, the consequences of that afterwards. Because like up until this point, it was like a completely legit, other than the duplication glitches, survival world. But I think
The oh god, wait, oh yeah, no,
the second arms race. Well, no, the third arms race.
I think the second arms race
The
was
first.
wait.
Okay, the first arms race was the arrow dispensers. The second arms race was me getting an enchantment room and getting loads of enchantments and making
God.
the Cheeto Yeeter and the Circumciser.
I then yoinked
then-
his enchantment room, or at least books from it, and then I proceeded to make. I call this an enchantment room very loosely because it was made by, let's call him, the Antichrist on the server.
The Antichrist.
You know who I'm referring to.
I know who you're referring. He was the Antichrist of the server. Like
He was now the new bad guy after Dragon Pig had, well, stayed on his island, I guess.
Yeah, because we kind of exiled him to an island and made him do his own thing.
Exiled, I sold that island to him. He bought it off me, and then I just kind of left him to do whatever he wanted.
Yeah. But anyway,
And
the Antichrist.
what gets better about the island is that you built a giant arrow turret in front of it because you didn't trust him. But sorry,
I did
getting
that
back
later.
to
We've lost our chronological order, damn it.
whatever. We're getting places. It's fine. We can go back and then fill the gaps. Anyway, the Antichrist, as you were saying. Hello?
Yeah. So he decided to like dig a tunnel under my house and
Through the railway,
yoink all of
actually.
my stuff through the railway. Yep. But I didn't like this person. He was a bit of a twat, to be fair. And he just had some vendetta against me, and I didn't even invite me onto my server. He just kind of joined through someone else, but I couldn't really do anything.
He joined through me. I invited
He
him.
joined through you.
Yeah.
You invited him. Why?
He was interested in the server. I said, hey, this is actually pretty cool. And looking back on that, I was a terrible liar. This place is hell. We are perpetually stuck here, but whatever.
You invited the Antichrist to hell. Let's just think about that for a moment. Anyway,
oh yeah, that reminds me. You exiled me to hell for whatever reason. And
That
when I
was
got there,
after
I just kind
this.
of grabbed people from the overworld and forced them to mine netherrack
Yeah.
and
Because-
quartz. And I think that was
because
the birth of the
before-
currency on the server.
You have gone so far ahead.
Have I?
Yeah, because
Oh fuck! Wait, no, the
with
currency.
the
didn't-
Antichrist,
Yeah, okay, sorry. Carry on.
so the Antichrist took all of my shit, took my armor, took my weapons, and all my valuables, which on on
I think.
Minecraft is
Oh
a
no,
big no-no.
the armor he got actually.
So I
remember
followed
this.
him back
Sorry.
to your place.
Wait, let me explain the armor because that's the thing. You know how you made duplicates of all of the current armor you were wearing?
Mm.
He had exact copies of literally the armor you were wearing.
Yes, which I kept in my top security vault, which at the time was
Which
very
now
not secure.
is, well, the most secure bloody thing on the
Which
server.
now is fucking impenetrable. Now that's a rabbit hole that we're gonna go into later.
That's probably part 4 thing, but whatever. Carrying on.
Yeah. So I followed him because he had his base of operations in
In
your
Londivium.
place.
Yeah.
Londivium.
However,
Um,
oh god, I'm going to explain this part because I had the more context here and it's just great.
Right.
This fella was so prone to infighting, he was more of a danger to me than he was to you. Because every
Mhm.
couple of seconds he said, oh, I want to blow up Valhalla, I want to kill the leader of Valhalla, I want to take over this place, we can make this place better, like you sounded like fucking Stalin or some shit, but whatever.
You do as if I didn't have the server online. If I just shut the server down, he couldn't do that anyway.
I know, it was great, honestly, but
He was so stupid about it.
I don't know what his problem was. He was there to destroy, as the Antichrist does, but he did me a solid, as in he made an enchantment room of his own, just on the side of a
It
mountain.
wasn't his own. He took all of my stuff.
He did. He yoinked your shit, then made an
He
enchantment room.
yoinked my enchantment room.
Oh wait, no, he did run off with your enchantment table, didn't he?
He took the entire enchantment room.
Oh god, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
then
so-
yeah.
Around that time, I think I was duplicating fire charges for no other reason than I figured out how to. And he was busy trying to make loads of enchantments, which did actually lead to the creation of the Yeeto Cheetah, which was the counterpart to the Cheeto Yeeter,
Yeah,
which
your
was
knockoff version of the Cheeto Eater.
which was superior to the Cheeto Yeeter actually, in almost every way. But I deliberately lied to Joe that it was inferior until Joe, I think, got hold of it, tried it, and then gave it back.
Yeah.
And that I'll explain that in a far later thing, because that comes with the experimental armors and the shops. That is so
Yes,
far
that
in the
was-
future.
Yeah, that was the age of capitalism without World War Five.
That I think World War V was the war on terror. Let's be real.
Oh, I mean, you kind of went over the War of Terror briefly, but
I did, but I didn't finish it. But anyway, the Antichrist saga continues, because the second base of operation was the Nether, which is, where you'd just send all of us for shits and giggles. I had a huge
Essentially
ass
the
nether
Gulag.
wart farm that I'd yoinked out of your basement, don't ask why. And I was using basically the nether to collect loads of nether bricks for an idea that I was planning in the future. Joe, you're already familiar with this, but we'll get to that later. But, I basically had a field day and with shit in the nether. For some reason, none of the enemies were spawning, even though they were supposed to. I had made great relations with the natives and my sword, which was called the Crucible. And basically, everything was going well. I had a self-sustaining base in the nether. I had a farm, a melon farm in the nether. Why would you do that? Why would I do that? And yeah, I was fine. The Antichrist, on the other hand, the only reason he was ever there was to duplicate Totems of Undying, which is a thing I had in abundance. You remember that?
Yep.
And not only did he want Totems of Undying, he also wanted golden apples, which I also had in absolute abundance. I tried to make him mine netherrack, and I could only ever make him do that for 20 minutes at a time. He would then get bored and then plot to try and kill you, which,
Yep.
sure. One of the funnier moments I can remember is when he joined our voice call. I think there was 5 or 6 of us in the call. He joined and said, "Invade, get on DM, get on private chat right
that
now."
was so obvious of him. So that's why I banished you to the Nether.
You disabled the explosion and even fighting. You prevented us from doing damage to things, and oh god. Okay, so we got into the nether. I insulted him for being crazy. He got angry, and then we both started trying to fight each other before realizing you disabled fighting, and then we just completely broke down in laughter. God, it was so tragic.
I know, but when you were doing that, what you don't know is that I was watching the whole thing.
You were?
I was in the Nether watching you guys fight. It was so tragic.
Like, I hope you're aware that I was on your side the entire time. I didn't want this guy
Yes,
to blow
but,
up
you
your
know,
house. I was finding
at
this
the time-
hilarious.
Yeah, at the time, I didn't know that. So what I just saw is you two colluding with each other. So I enabled PvP and explosions, went over to his base, which was my stuff at Nick's, and reduced it to a crater.
Sorry, I need to point this out specifically, but you built a swastika-shaped TNT
No!
barrage and then dumped it on his base.
It was
Why
like a
would you do that?
I don't know.
Whatever, his base got
That is not my
reduced to it.
proudest moment. It was not an intentional swastika. Can we just make that one clear?
Sure. Whatever, so he got a culturally inappropriate crater in the shape just to reduce his base to nothing, and he didn't know about this. It was only until we left the nether, headed back to Lundivium, that he realized this, got really angry, and then tried to build a base, I think, in my basement. He commandeered my basement in your
In
basement.
my house, yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's don't question it. It's just it is what it is. But this led to another fella joining, who I'm going to refer to him as the immigrant.
Who's that again?
Does this one not tack on?
It will. We've had a lot of people on here.
Yeah. Anyway, the immigrant showed up, and I'm gonna be honest. This guy was actually pretty cool. The only problem was that he happened to join at the same time as the Antichrist. So
Oh yes, yeah, I know who you're talking about. He was pretty cool
he
actually.
was cool, but he was only ever on extremely few times. He had a brother who was on exactly once and then left. But that's not important. What is important is that I treated the two of these guys so unbelievably poorly. I'll get screenshots of this in the next episode because I can't be asked to dig for them unless I have, in which case they're on screen now. And the first house, let's just say, wasn't a house. I had a bit of a housing crisis at Lundivium. I think this was after the bombing, so Lundivium was just a crater at this point. I didn't know where to put these guys, so I dug two, I think 3x3 holes in the ground, and then told them this is your house now. And there is a screenshot on the Solar Cultist server of both of them sleeping in a bed in these two holes that I dug in the ground, and that is the pinnacle of my bad guy moment. I think at that point I have officially ditched all good possible anything to come from me. I was officially the bad guy of the server, and I didn't realize it until World War. Wait, no, I didn't realize it until the Ninth Cold War. When that comes,
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll never explain it. Don't expect anything. But yeah, that happened.
but the thing is, your treatment of the immigrant is what caused World War Three, I think.
Yeah,
Because
you're
I
right.
saw what you were doing to him, and I just like, I'm bad, but this is absolutely horrific. So I had to like liberate him from you.
You tried,
Because you
but
were-
no. This led to I think the fourth or the fifth arms race. I think we forgot about one, but whatever. No wait,
Yeah.
the fourth arms race was the enchantment stuff, getting our weapons. So this
The
was
fifth
the fifth
arms race was
fifth-
the BFG.
This was the fifth arm race. We had built the BFG, and I was proud of this. I think you could tell I was proud of this.
The BFG.
I need to explain this because this was funny. It was a giant obsidian funnel pointed directly at a mountain. The idea was you'd fill the entire thing up. You'd press a button on the back, like with TNT, that is, and then you'd fly away, and the whole thing would just puke on the side of the mountain and completely destroyed it. I was so happy with this thing, I showed it to my ex-girlfriend, and then promptly tested the gun on her. And I am such a terrible person, honestly.
Emphasis on the word X.
Emphasis on the word X. Back then, she wasn't X, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yep. Where
Oh.
were we before we started talking about that? Oh yeah, me declaring war on you because of your treatment of your
My
your
immigrant
victim.
and the Antichrist. You actually had mercy for the Antichrist temporarily, and that I will never forget.
Temporarily, but then he went. But then he like went up to my house, lit it on fire. I put out the fire, and I just murdered him.
Fair enough, honestly.
I don't think he ever came back.
He didn't. I think, what is it? The last ditch attempt, he just didn't come back. But before that, the houses that I had made for these fellows, I realized wasn't secure enough. Now, what did I mean by that? I don't know. But it led to me
They escaped.
making arrow
They
dispensers.
escaped, and you hunted them down and killed them.
No, that comes later. What happens first was I made arrow dispensers above their little fucking holes in the floor,
Oh, no.
and said
You
if
made
you
a
choose
fucking
to rebel
gas
against
chamber.
me, I'll just turn these on and pepper you both to death
No,
with
you
arrows.
made a gas chamber. You...
Shut up! Shut up! We can't say that in video. But
You-
yes,
Oh.
you're right, and shut up. This led to the Antichrist retreating to his base of operations, which at the time was the stolen enchantment room that he'd made, and for
Which
the
is now a
immigrant to
crater.
dig a little hole in the side of my mountain and then just call that his house. I fed him poisoned potatoes because I thought it was appropriate, and he survived there for a really long time. It's actually quite impressive. What also contributed to his survival was the fact that he had a stack of diamond blocks, which he only ever used once.
And I kept feeding him.
You actually fed him. I fed him poisoned potatoes because I'm just a bad person, but okay. Anyway, eventually, I believe... Oh, what was it? He had something. I don't remember what it was.
A chicken.
I told my buddy Coco this a while ago. Also, yeah, just shout out Coco real quick for no reason other than I can. But he had something. Coco's either going to tell me in the comments, probably will. I'll mention it what he actually had in the next video. But he had something, and I don't know if he did, or maybe it was the Antichrist, but I don't know. I just needed a reason to monitor what this guy was doing, so I said, hey, this guy has something, we need to get this back. I rallied up the entire server, all of the fellas, all of the girls on the server as well, and they all got up in arms, diamond armor. We paraded ourselves to this guy's little fucking hole in the wall, and collectively beat him to death.
I wasn't involved in this.
You were there. I have footage. I'm convinced I have footage of that. If I can't find it, I'm going to cry, but you were there as well.
I didn't kill him though.
I know, I
didn't let me.
Oh, but the fella was cool, and he actually took that like an absolute champion, which is rare for some people. I did end up giving the guy reparations for the awful treatment, and letting him build a house just in the giant gaping barrel of the BFG, which is...
We let him have complete control over the BFG as a reparation.
Which is a mistake, but he also has the most TNT on the server at the time. Not anymore. I have that crown now.
Not anymore. No.
But, oh god, that was... We are terrible people, Joe.
You more than me in that case.
I've completely skipped over you genociding nitwits. In fact, I'm gonna just go over that right now.
We've already been over the genocide.
We have, but we touched on it so lightly, and you've posted an image of you burning a villager alive, so how could I not go over it? Ah, yes, here it is. You did...
We need to make the motivation clear first.
No, there was no motivation. Your motivation for killing them was because they weren't working. You needed working people in your society, and you were killing unemployed and nitwits because they weren't providing. What is wrong with you?
I did not kill the unemployed.
You killed the unemployed.
So I shipped them over to your place.
You sent the unemployed to the Nether. You sent them to me. You gave them to my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh god! And you made this incineration chamber to just throw nitwits in. That
was not made to. That was made to dispose of like blocks like dirt and cobblestone and stuff that I didn't need.
I don't know, man. The screenshot tells a different story, but sure, I believe you. But anyway, yeah, that was the thing, and that was the reason for one of the wars. Anyway, my horrific treatment of actual people was Joe's reason for another war. I've lost count of what wars are on at this point, so we're just gonna go via assumptions, but whatever.
Right.
Actually, what time are we at? I think we've been recording for... Oh,
a
wow,
while.
We've been recording for almost an hour.
Jesus Christ.
This is a podcast now.
This is a podcast.
Okay.
Right. So what happened then?
Oh, I don't remember
Your
actually.
I think your ex came on the server like properly.
Oh yeah.
And we made her. So right. So during like Valhalla's exponential expansion, I was just building buildings. I made a shopping district at that point.
My ex has had a house right next to Valhalla, didn't she?
She did, but we're gonna go on to that bit later. I'm just gonna talk about the context of why she was there.
Okay, go on then.
So I built a shopping district, and next to the shopping district I built a courtroom, the law rooms, because we kept having such petty disagreements.
The law rooms were the
shit. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a court, and I'm gonna write down all of my bullshit laws, and I'm gonna make people follow them.
I'm going to tell everyone here the laws in the most believable possible way. I'm gonna actually get screenshots of the laws and put them on screen. But basically, they were. If Joe wasn't happy with you, your punishment was death.
Yeah, at that point, I've basically just gone full autocrat at that point. So anyway, we unanimously decided, because I still had a little bit of democracy left in me, to make your ex the judge, because she was the most impartial person there. So
she was the most normal until we decided that we were going to let her have her own city. That was a mistake, but we'll get to that later.
That was a mistake. Right. Anyway, so we made her...
The petty disagreements, though, were the highlight of the server.
The trials were some of the best moments on here, honestly. So she was the judge up until she committed tax fraud. So anyway, in the law rooms, I decided to come up. Well, no, you decided to
I
come up with the age of capitalism.
I'm so proud of this. This is such a me thing to do. I kid you not. I straight up built a shop in your city, and then just started selling stuff at the price of nether brick, which I had been saving up for months at this point, or even years. I'm not even sure at this point. In the nether, and I had transported all of it over in my ender chest and in shulker boxes, which we had gotten after we killed the ender dragon eventually, but that's such a minuscule part of the server, it's not even important.
I think I went and did that myself.
You did. You denied me the option to do it, which
Hey,
saddened
it
me.
was a spiritual moment for me because it was my server and I wanted to end it myself because I thought that was going to be the end of it. But no.
But no, here we are, almost 5 or 6 years later. This server is
No, I
old.
went to the end. I went to the end 2 years ago. Maybe 3. But anyway.
I put my money on 3 because it was a long time ago.
Mm.
Anyway, so I had my stuff. I was selling like kind of useless crap initially, but I had this little thing at the front of the shop which said, "Hey, my shop is currently on level 1. If you buy stuff, I'll upgrade to level 2," which everyone said was stupid, and it was, but I was being genius because the reason this was there was to
Marketing.
marketing, entice people to use the shop to potentially get better shit. And what Joe didn't understand was this was genius, and it prevented me from selling really powerful stuff to the terrorists, which Joe
Yeah,
did
so
because he felt like
yeah,
it.
I did an America moment and made a shop right in front of yours to try and take your customers. Um, and in order to take your customers, I was selling more powerful items for
You,
ridiculously high prices, but people still bought them.
yeah, I know, it's incredible. Here's the thing: I'm pretty sure I sell more, I think, short-term valuables. I got my good share of customers. My ex was a very prominent customer until she stopped being a
Oh.
prominent customer, and then the terrorists became the more prominent customers. And
Yeah, she didn't want to come into your shop anymore, so she built her own right next door to
yeah,
yours.
right next door. She didn't want to
The
go.
tavern, home of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Oh yeah, no. She then kidnapped and kept Darth Plagueis the Wise in the basement for God knows how long. Shut the fuck up, Disney. This is a named villager. It's not important. But yeah, and I'm convinced that if I go on the Bedrock server, he is still there collecting dust, and
He
that
is
is perfect.
He is.
Oh, but it gets better. Behind my shop, I had a bunch of signs which detailed, you know, back alley kind of illegal goods that are not illegal, but you know,
Absolutes.
the fucking Star
called
Wars
them
meme. That is
absolutes.
the entire thing. It was a fucking Star Wars meme. I had bought all of the strange, or what is it, suspicious stew from all of the villagers in your area, which made you angry because apparently I was bankrupting your fucking society. What?
Well, no, because I wanted to have a monopoly on the market of drugs. Because I was selling them to people. I was selling this suspicious stew to people.
Whatever.
And then you were
I
buying
was
them from
doing the
my
same, and I
villagers.
was doing it better.
No. The point is, you could have got it from your own villagers, but no, you had to get them from mine.
Well, that's because your ones gave me night vision and my ones gave me blindness.
Anyway, that leads on to the eventual drug farm.
Oh god, that came so late, it's not even useful.
No, but it's still useful.
It
Um,
exists, that's all it does. It's not useful.
But anyway, so shall we go back to the age of capitalism and the
Just-
eventual terrorist insurgent
Oh
that
god,
happened
yeah, no,
because
I
of it?
remember, no, we're doing everything in between first, alright? So the terrorist attack actually came quite late. I'm gonna say, I managed to get invisibility potions beforehand, and you know, when I did that, I'm pretty much the worst person on the server. I completely accept that at this point. I am not a good person. I got the invis potion. I also had a wither skeleton skull, which I would just wear because it looked sick. And so what I would do was I'd down the invis, take off all of my armor, and just run around shooting people with my bow and arrow. They couldn't find me. I was invisible.
Yes, they all thought I was doing it.
They all thought Joe was doing it until Joe realized there were particles everywhere and then just started shooting at the particles.
and I ended up killing you.
You did multiple times, but it got better because my my ex-girlfriend was also there, and I had the lightning trident.
Percy Jackson! I forgot about Percy Jackson.
The
You
trident
had
was
my
named
lightning
Percy
trident.
Jackson. I'm pretty sure it
was
still
my lightning
exists on
trident
the server.
that you duplicated. You duplicated Percy Jackson.
I did. It was you had the hand of Poseidon. I had the Percy Jackson.
No, mine was Percy Jackson. Yours was the hand of Poseidon.
No, other way round. You name whatever. It's not important.
No, I named it Percy Jackson.
Shut the fuck up. I must have stolen it from you then.
You probably did.
Whatever. Anyway, I threw the lightning trident at my ex, and it killed her, and burned all of her shit because of the fire. And upon realizing this, I said, "Oh fuck." And I was feeling bad because at the time she was my girlfriend. So I gave her the most powerful armor in the game, which was my armor but duplicated, and told her to stop complaining. We then gave her her own land, her own city to go and found, and that was the biggest mistake we've ever made on the server.
One of,
if not.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah. She still manned her tavern, if you will. She almost shut the tavern down because I kept constantly opening and closing her door, which I didn't think that was a problem, but apparently it was, so sure.
Yep.
That reminds me, I have a clip, I think it's uploaded on YouTube, of you entering your shop's basement, only to find 6 or so villagers just pop out of the basement, and then you told me to avert your eyes as you murdered all of them, and I caught that on video.
Right. Yeah.
That
So,
was a thing,
yeah.
that happened.
So your ex, basically made a house. At the time, it was quite far away from Valhalla, but now
Then Valhalla grew.
Then Valhalla grew. So anyway, and then as a
I
like a-
wanted
a
an excuse
laugh,
to be really unfunny, so I started digging crop circles. Now, I know there is one guy in the audience, hello Red, you are more than familiar with the crop circles. Joe here is familiar with the crop circles.
I'm familiar with every shitty inside joke you have.
I regret nothing, but basically I'd surrounded my ex-girlfriend's house with fuck, I can't speak English anymore. I surrounded her house with crop circles for just miles, alright? And I found this hilarious. I was laughing at this. She wasn't very happy with this, it's obvious, but I didn't care. She then
Again,
tried to
emphasis
break
on the
all
word
of
X.
the crop circles. I killed her. I regret nothing. Yeah, I am just such a bad person. Jesus fuck. This is kind of an inside revelation where I'm really I am the reason all of the terrible things on the server happened. I'm realizing that now.
Yep. And you called me bad.
I regret nothing. It was for the greater good.
Anyway,
um,
you decided to take the joke even further because, well, throw back to that time where I made you live off porridge. Not porridge. Porridge. Sorry, someone just messaged me on Discord saying porridge.
yeah, no, dried kelp, wasn't it?
Yes, dried kelp. So you went and filled her entire house with dried kelp.
Dried kelp, this abomination of dried kelp.
One block at a time.
I've replaced
And we called
almost
it the
all of
flood.
the wood logs with dried kelp. I went into a basement, made this horrific hive, like, mound of dried kelp, which looked infectious, let's just say that. And then we decided that this was an ever-growing epidemic, which is ironic because a couple of years later, Corona would happen. Oh my
No,
fucking
Corona
god.
happened the same year. No,
wait.
Corona happened the same
Oh my
year.
fuck, it did, didn't it?
It did.
I must be the Messiah.
So, to deal with this, we made an obsidian dome covering her entire house while
then
she
we-
was still in it.
She was, yeah. Oh god. And then
She'd
we
gone
covered it
offline,
in
so we made
stone
an
and
obsidian
dirt,
dome.
and we just called it a natural formation. This cave obviously
It is
wasn't
not
a natural formation. She eventually left the dome and then travelled half the bloody continent to make her own city.
The wicker basket.
The wicker basket, which we're calling it that because it's just completely made out of wood, and if someone sets fire to a single building, the entire thing goes up in flames. But it is also the source of the best screenshots on the server, which I
It's the
will
most
get.
aesthetic place.
Yeah, it is. It is the most aesthetically pleasing looking area, but it also holds the worst treatment of people I have ever seen in the server
Oh
so far.
god, she was. Oh no. Well, villagers.
Villagers, yeah, let's just say villagers, but
Let's just say she's worse than both of us put together.
she put more attention on animals and the wildlife than she did feeding her own people. That is insane. And do you know what gets even worse? She would constantly say she's poor. She had no money, no nether brick to buy anything. Keep in mind, she'd spent hours building her floor out of nether quartz, which was like a premium currency on the server.
We didn't know that at the time.
We didn't know this at the time, but she did. She was committing insurance fraud in Minecraft because we were supporting her until we realized this. And I only realized it after making an expedition into the horrific mound that we had made, and then saying, hold on a minute, she has... what the fuck? And as a result, we weren't happy with this, and we took her to court, we trialed her, and we sued her, we took all her money away, and then she started saying she was actually poor. And we realized she was actually poor, but we decided, nah, go back to your town, it's fine.
Oh god, unrelated topic. Remember when I tried putting you on trial for war crimes against your treatment of the immigrant, and you blew up the courtroom?
Yes, yeah, I remember that. Oh, even better. What was it? My ex-girlfriend was a bit biased at the time. I don't even know what reason this was. I think it was when you were trying to trial me for committing assault whilst I was running around invisible and some shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In my defense, though, you were trying to destroy my own business with your own business. Because I mean, if I get an image of the shops, which will be on screen, your shop was right in front of mine. It's not even discreet. And well, she wasn't on my side. She said my punishment is death, and I wasn't happy with this, but I also had all the ender pearls ever. So what I did was I dug straight down like 2 blocks, and then you started filling the thing I made in the hole with sand, suffocating me, and said, alright, good, we wait till he dies now. And then I just ender pearled up, out of the fucking thing, and then out of the ceiling, and then I just ran. You guys were after me. I don't know how much of a fucking, chase you put up, but I was genuinely running until I got my hands on another invis potion. You guys were ready to sue the shit out of me, and because I'm the capitalist mastermind that I am, I didn't want to get sued. I eventually surrendered and managed to sweet talk my way out of not getting the death sentence. What the fuck is this server?
I don't know, but
This is Minecraft.
Well, no, was this like around the same time as the mound, or a little bit before? Back about talking about me selling cheaper weapons of essentially mass destruction to untrustworthy people on this server.
Oh no! Oh, you did just sell the fucking. Okay?
I sold the grenadier armor for
You
little
gimped our
than I
future
should.
plan, alright?
I did.
You sold Blast Protection 3 Diamond Armor to Dragon Pig, who was about to become the new bad guy on the server if I wasn't the most terrible person already.
Who we had just, previously exiled to an island.
Yeah.
Where he made himself a nice Mediterranean-style house.
He actually did. Oh, but anyway, he had, what he was building, culturally bad German flags all over his, nice house that he had made. And he also had a duplication machine of his own, which he'd found out how to make, and was duplicating currency.
In the law book, duplication at that time was illegal.
Well, no, not at the time, but duplication of nether brick was illegal.
Well, I think it was just a blanket ban on duplication, but
No, whatever. I didn't follow it.
Well, yeah, because I still used you for duplicating things. That's not the point.
Okay, no, sorry. Rules for you, Joe, is no one else except for me is allowed to follow it.
It's my server.
But no, everyone else except. Oh, you know what? I just said that backwards, but you know what I mean. Whatever.
Yeah.
So we came up with a plan, and that was we found his duplication machine because Terrorist 2 had defected to our side. Terrorist 2 had become NATO, and oh, that
Okay,
reminds me.
Terrorist 2 lives on the same island,
Yeah,
and the reason she's Terrorist 2 is because, well, the first thing she did
was steal your
upon coming to the
elytra,
server was yeet my elytra.
and then hide in the ground until we gave up looking for her. Then give back the elytra, and then leave after you slapped her in the face with a sword.
The Circumciser, which... The Circumciser is a one-hit kill.
I know. Anyway, we went into their basement, or not their basement, but Dragon Pig's basement, and we've rigged the entire thing with TNT, just discreetly enough so that he wouldn't know. And Terrorist 2 was willing to do us a solid and provide reconnaissance, if you will, of this whole thing going down. And we're calling Terrorist 2 because they did partake in the illegal acts. They did make themselves profit. Their entire house is made out of nether brick, for crying out loud. And yeah, we didn't trust Terrorist 2 because we knew they were up to stuff, so we gimped them.
And not to mention their house was made out of obsidian because they knew about the plan.
They knew about
Their
the plan.
bedroom is an obsidian bunker.
Their house is an obsidian bunker and contains an obsidian bunker inside the obsidian bunker. Sure, I guess. Anyway, one of the things we did before nuking the entire thing into oblivion was we went in there and we yoinked all of the valuables out of her chests, and we then blamed it on Terrorist 1, which was Dragon Pig.
I remember that.
This was the cause. I think. What is it? The Terrorist Wars, which was battles that were fought unrelated to us. There was a conflict between
That didn't involve us.
It didn't involve us. They were fighting amongst themselves, and that's exactly what we wanted. Anyway, Terrorist
I had
2
to build-
then notified us that Terrorist 1 was duplicating stuff and nothing was exploding. And I just told Joe, hey, you need to enable something. He was like, oh shit, yeah. And then he did. And then kabooms were heard from across the map.
Yep.
We went over there, and I've got screenshots of it. There was just a gaping crater in the side of the island, a lot bigger than most of us had anticipated. And I think
sand had gone everywhere.
sand had gone everywhere, and I mean everywhere.
There's still sand in the tree.
There it. Oh god, there is as well. Anyway, so yeah, I think this was the catalyst for Terrorist 2 fleeing the server, and apparently she brought this up recently, saying the server was a bit wild, or at least what she remembers of it. She is right, and she's probably never gonna come back. Probably out of fear. I don't blame her. This place is hell. She's saving herself the trouble.
Yep. Also, I had built a massive an arrow dispensing fort at the island to pacify the conflict.
I
did a British Empire again and just built a fence, like just going down the middle of the island, and fortified it with sweet berries
You did.
as barbed wire to stop them from
Barbed
killing
wire.
each other.
Oh, and it gets better as well because
Oh yeah, and then I rigged the entire island to explode.
I think is the detonator is still there, and if anyone goes to that, presses the button, the entire island is leveled instantly, and that'd be the end of an era if that ever happened. But I'm not gonna do that because that's not important.
Yep.
Anyway, I think this brought forth another age of expansion for Valhalla because you just went and colonized every single island on the map.
Yep, I took the Farm Island, the Nature Reserve Island. I made the Fletcher's Colony, the Masons Colony, and the Perfect Colonies.
How'd you forget the perfect colony?
Okay, briefly, the Perfect Colonies was so I was just a bit sick of all the conflict going on with the terrorist civil war. So I went and found some nice islands in the middle of the ocean and made the most aesthetically pleasing place on the server at the time.
At the time,
And we still call it the Perfect Colony.
it is permanently called Perfect Colony. But another thing that happened during the terrorist civil war was the Sky Islands, a collective effort between Londivium and Valhalla to make an absolute paradise where everything is perfect and we can just bully people by hyperinflating and then yoinking their materials and then storing it up there. That is the entirety of the Sky Islands.
Yep, it was the second collaborative effort
Second, yeah.
for peace, because we made the cathedral.
We did make the Cathedral. We also burnt down the Lone Star Motel, which is pretty much wiped from the history books because of how actually terrible it was, and I deeply regret making it because of how ugly it was. What I don't regret it was burning
we
it down.
we both know I made worse.
You've made worse, but we're not gonna. No, that's in the history
We just
books.
okay. We're not going to explain it.
No, stop talking about it. Just no, it doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. Whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, the Sky Islands, they were pretty cool until I made it uncool. Until I had to make it cursed. I had to ruin it. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Yep.
But no, a lot of things happened at the Sky Islands. For example, we made cool stuff. We store all of the stolen goods from Terrorist 2's chest and Terrorist 1's stuff, reparations. We also had all of the villages there named after Greek and Roman gods.
Oh yeah.
Just to fit the tone, but whatever. What happened after that was I decided that I was going to build a Half-Life 2 reference slap bang in the middle of the circle of islands, which ruined the entire thing. Why did I do that? There is just an obsidian stick just awkwardly stuck out through just a really overgrown wank shack, let's just say that.
Yeah. This was the concept of Operation Minotaur.
Yeah.
Let's not go into that now, because that is, well, a different labyrinth.
That is... Oh, fuck. Oh, goddamn, that was a thing. It looks nice. Minus that thing, it looks nice.
Yeah.
I'm getting fond memories of making this entire structure. It was nice.
Yeah.
It was so effective, because here's the thing, the terrorists couldn't get up there. They did try to nerf pole up there, but I ended up killing them and then destroying the nerf pole.
Yeah.
What you're sending is... Oh, wow, that's actually a really good screenshot. Holy shit. I just put that on screen right now. If you're wondering what the giant bullseye thing over there is, if any of you played Wii Sports, if you have, it is the sword fighting arena. But instead of swords, we have fish. It is the fish slapper arena. It is amazing.
Yeah, that's a more recent creation, actually.
That is a much more recent thing, but that's not
because
important.
no one used the Colosseum, because no one wanted to fight to the death.
Yeah, so we used the funny place where you don't fight to the death, you fight till they fall off. And I recorded a now copyrighted video of us fighting to Duel of the Fates from Star Wars with fish. It was such a good video.
It was.
Oh, God. Anyway, going back to the topic at hand, yeah, after I'd made that abomination, what did we do?
Which abomination? The wine shack.
Yeah.
Hold on, I need to try and think of anything that I've missed.
Because I think around this point, the Backrooms creepypasta came into play, and Operation Minotaur eventually happened. Oh, wait! Yeah, no, you're right.
We've missed out something.
What have
the
we missed
arrival
out?
of my sister.
Oh, your sister showed up and built the most ugly thing I think I've ever seen in my life.
It was the most horrific house I have ever seen in my life.
Sorry, you don't see it in the screenshot because version changes, but those are actually zombie heads, which we had after we blew up charged creepers. But she covered her house in zombie heads. Just what the fuck am I looking at? It's on screen right now. What the fuck am I looking at?
But anyway, we gave her so much grief.
We bullied her off the server.
We didn't bully her off the server. She just couldn't be asked to play survival Minecraft and went and did her creative Minecraft and claimed it was survival.
Oh, so she was a beta.
With the YouTube tutorials.
Inner unhappy coming out.
Yeah. Oh god, she's got a respawn anchor in some house.
Does she?
Anyway,
I need to explain your sister's house, because despite how horrific it was first line of defense to the invasion. And I know we're skipping a lot here, but I'd like to get to the invasion because it'll be a nice.
We've given up on chronological order.
Fuck fuck it, it's not important. I depend on that part. Whatever. So Joe was building a load of really cool top secret shit, I'm going to bring up the major map thing. You'll see a load of buildings with white roofs instead of black roofs. One of them, I think, is a bank. The other one has a giant cross on it. That's a hospital, I think. And the other one is a laboratory of sorts where he tests out secret copyrighted Halo shit with names. And yeah, in that he made a vault, which is where all of the
Oh, you're talking about the Oni Labs.
yeah, they are just called the Oni Labs. It's funny. Anyway, you had a what was it called? A vault in there, which is where I'm storing all of my most valuable stuff because I trust you enough to.
Well,
keep that shit.
we both store the most valuables there.
Yeah.
My set of armor, a copy of the Cheeto Yeeter, a copy of the Circumciser, and the Elytras.
Yep. So those are in there, and I think the mending book's in there as well. But whatever. He rigged it initially by having, if you press the wrong buttons, it'll drop you into a pit of lava and you die instantly. I decided to
Trust me,
take this a step
this thing was
further.
hard. This thing was hard to do. Before you go on that, I'm going to give context because I said earlier that it was a complete survival world, no cheats other than duplication glitches.
Oh yeah.
So during the terrorist wars, where I mentioned previously that Dragon Pig had hold of the Grenadier armor, and when we blew up his base, he survived because he had the Grenadier armor on it, and it had like the highest level of blast protection there was.
Why would you
So
do
he
that?
fled. He fled towards the BFG islands, and I had to hunt him down. And at the time, I was trying to disable his PvP privileges, but I accidentally allowed cheats
You know.
in the haste of the moment. So, yes, biggest mistake of the server.
At least
that
you
killed
beat
the
the Ender
server.
Dragon and got the achievement for it.
I know, but that was the thing that killed the server.
Yeah, it did. There was a decline in server playing around that time.
Because people just kept cheating and stuff.
Yeah. But
Anyway.
the Realm actually showed up as well. And the Realm was an exact copy of this server without cheats.
Yes.
So the two of us migrated over to the Realm, and it was just the two of us, unfortunately, but I'm pretty sure Joe paid for Realms and then wasn't happy with it.
Because no one was using it.
Yeah, I used it quite a lot. I don't know if I have the screenshot of it, but I ended up building the Half-Life 2 Combine Citadel slap bang in the middle of Joe's empire, sending it as a screenshot to him just to torment him. He wasn't happy with it. I built this thing in survival, no cheats, only duplication. I regret nothing. And you know what gets better? I just heard
What?
fucking anvil going on your thing. Whatever. What are you making?
I'm trying to recreate the dinner bone scene, but it's not working for some reason.
don't worry
It has
about
to
it.
be capital.
It's not important. The citadel that I'd built was right on top of my original house, which Joe has politely provided screenshot of. It's underwater. It is a wank shack underwater. What possessed me to make this?
Anyway, we were going about the back rooms.
Oh
So-
yeah, the back rooms. That was a thing.
You had given me the idea of a maze.
Yeah.
So because I had accidentally enabled cheats, command blocks were an open opportunity to us.
And that's where the fun began.
This
You
is where
see,
the fun begins.
The Backrooms creepypasta at this time was in full swing. Let's just say everyone was talking about it. It was the next cool thing around the time, and I thought,
Was it?
yeah, it was. Honestly, I saw a lot of things about it. I don't know. Depends on what side of the internet you were on.
Not my side.
No, whatever. I was on 4chan, so that's where I saw shit. But whatever.
Dear God.
Dear God, indeed. Anyway, I pitched Operation Minotaur to him, where I built a large maze, which was in spirit of the Backrooms, somewhere under the Arctic, which was, I think, east of Lundivium. And that was, yeah, I built that. It was huge. I'm gonna try and get screenshots of it. It might be a bit difficult, but I'll try.
Unfortunately, it did not survive the
It
Javafication.
didn't survive Javafication, which deeply saddens me, but I don't care. It was hilarious anyway. This was a horrific maze. There were so many entrances and exits. You could at any point slip into this thing and then just not be able to get out. In fact, there was a random device that would tick down and just teleport a random person here for shits and giggles. And
I
what
forgot
hurts
about
me
that.
is that a lot of the time I was on the server, and I'm pretty sure I was the person on the server most. Even when Joe was on the server, I got teleported there most. I'm pretty sure Joe only ever got teleported there once because he
Twice.
got unlucky. Yeah, that's it. In fact, the whole thing acted as a contingency, dare I
It
say.
was a contingency against a potential invasion.
Which did happen.
It
And
happened.
This horrific building, these three or four layers of construction that I'd made, actually saved the server from being potentially destroyed.
Yeah,
Or,
it did.
or at least not destroyed, but irreversibly changed, let's just say. A bunch
Yes.
of unnamed folk from our secondary school had joined via Xbox Live onto the server, and this was terrifying because there were 12 of them and 2 of us.
Yes.
And Joe had left the voice chat to go and attend to hostile negotiations with the other people on their group chat. I was still on, Discord, trying to overhear everything, because I could hear it through his microphone, because he had a really bad microphone at the time, so I was getting all the tactical
Oh, yeah, it was
know-how.
shit.
And, but it was all really shit audio quality, and the funniest thing was they all tried to enter your sister's house first, which was the first place I went
Yeah.
with the backrooms teleporter. So as soon as they stepped on the pressure plate, boom, they're now in an inescapable maze, have fun.
Yeah, so about half of them went into the back rooms, and then the other half went on to the capital, which was hilarious, because I got to kill each and every one of them in turn.
They did, however, find the archery village and then almost killed everyone there.
They ransacked the archery village and the farm, and they tried to ransack the murder fort, but I activated it and killed 2 of them in the murder
Legend.
fort, which was great.
In fact, I was in the murder fort at the time, but I was in the blind spot, so I didn't die to that.
Yep.
So I got to see that. I didn't clip it because, I don't know, my reflexes were slow and my mind was on the fact that we were being invaded. But yeah, that happened. I honestly can't say much about the invasion. I think Joe experienced most of it. Apparently he
I
wanted them to
enjoyed
be
it.
on so he could bully the people there, kill them loads, and then get a, validation that his city looks cool.
Validation that the city looks cool, and validation to myself that I can defend it.
And you got both of that. I'm so
I
happy
did
none
get
of them
both.
found Londivium.
Yeah. That was an
Yeah.
event.
And we've been recording for over an hour, actually.
It remains. There we go. There is bits of the back rooms that remain.
Screenshot them, please. Just send them. I'll get them on screen, please.
Quite a bit of it got, actually, a surprising amount remains.
Oh, does it? That's nice.
It took a while to find, but
Oh, hold on a minute. I'm
It's-
getting a phone call. Yeah, I might have to cut the. Oh, well, I'll just pause the recording.
I haven't even got onto the border dispute.
Alright, you've got the. We'll do that in part 2. Anyway, yeah. I may have just cut the recording in half. Whatever, it's not a problem. But
Well.
so this is what remains of the backrooms. It's going on screen right now. I had a lot of fun making this. It was probably the most lore-filled. Yeah, lore. Our server had story to it. It didn't make
We
any
had
sense.
law. No, it did make sense. That was the worst part.
Oh, it made sense. Does it? Does it though? What Cold War are we on, Joe?
I think we've skipped 3 of them.
Same. Anyway, whatever. I'm gonna wrap this up. This has been part 1. We'll explain the rest of it later. Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to remember where we left off, but I suppose this video will prove it. We'll just stand as, hey, we did this. Yeah.
We did shit.
For you fellas in the comments, I know you guys exist. There's what? The more prominent
come
ones
on,
at least
no
are
one-
probably what?
No one is going to watch an hour of this.
Oh no, they will. I know they will. I absolutely believe they will sit down and listen to an hour of this, probably over a game of Phantom Forces or some shit. I'm
Hello,
just gonna say
Mum.
hello, Red, hello, Coco, hello, Ryder,
Just gonna mute
Fonk
myself.
if he happens to show up. I don't think Fonk would be here, but whatever. You don't know these people. They might show up on the 5-year Minecraft server at some point. Who fucking knows? But whatever. That has been part 1 of this horrific series. Thank you, Joe, for the explanation of stuff. It was cool. You've muted yourself. I'm gonna. Yeah. Goodbye, all.